Hey friends, it's Jacqueline here. The Sephora Spring Savings event of 2022 is about to start, and I decided instead of just doing a very simple recommendations video, I wanted to give you my Sephora must-have, those products that are my OGs, those tried and truth. Make sure you have a cup of coffee, a tea, a glass of wine, and let's get started. As I was saying in my introduction, these are my Sephora must-have. Those products that I have tried for minimum of a year, most of them 2, 3, some of them even 4 years or even more. Those products that will never fail me. And what a perfect timing, because today when you're watching this video, I'm pretty sure is the first day of spring, so happy spring to all of you. And the Sephora Spring Savings event of 2022 is coming in just a few days. For those who are Rouge members, you get 20% off starting April 1st. For those who are VIPs, you get to shop on April 5th with 15% off, and those who are insiders on April 7th with 10% off. The sale goes all the way through April 11th, and throughout the entire time of the sale, from April 1st through the 11th, regardless of which tier you belong to, you get 30% off on all Sephora collection. Okay, my friends, there's quite a bit to go through right here, so let's dive in. I'm gonna focus today on makeup, and for sure, I'm going to be making more Sephora content throughout the next couple weeks. So if you are excited about it, I will highly suggest you to go ahead and subscribe to my channel. Do not forget to ring that post notification bell so you don't miss any of my uploads. I will be posting some content on my Instagram too. So I will highly suggest you to come and follow me there as well. And like I said, I'm going to focus on makeup today. But if you're wondering how I style my hair, well, none other than the DYSON Airwrap. This is for me that product. This is a product that I will, buy it again if I need to. I have it for I think 3 or 4 years now since when it launched, and I actually have a review video. I have a comparisons with the T3 wand, which is amazing too, but if you want to see 2 different stylists, I have that one. And then last year, I think on December, I made a video on how I style my hair as of right now with DYSON Airwrap, but it includes hair products and whatnot. So I will invite you to check on that video if you're interested, and I will be leaving the link to that video on the description box below, along with all the products that I will be mentioning right here, the date for the sale, everything will be in the description box below. Okay, let's get started right here. We're gonna focus on makeup. For primer, this is no surprise for you because you have seen me wearing these so many times in the past, I think, year and a half, is the TATCHA, the Liquid Silk Canvas. This is the primer that I have today. And if you have enlarged pores, if you have texture, or if you just simply have even very sensitive skin like mine, and you just want to protect your skin, create a little bit of a barrier between the other products, makeup, foundation, everything that you're putting after primer, using the TATCHA, the Liquid Silk Canvas, it will protect you. It will create a beautiful layer that it doesn't sit on your skin, but it actually smooth your skin in a very soft way. This is a primer that never fails me. Now, if you have more dry skin, that by the way, I do have dry, sensitive, mature skin. I'm on my 4th floor. Yes, I'm over 40 years old. So I do have texture, fine lines, enlarged pores. I do have signs of aging, sunspots and whatnot. But anyhow, going back right here. Now, if you want to hydrate your skin, I do have my driest part of my face. It's on my forehead. Then I use the Bobbi Brown. This is the Vitamin Enriched Face Base. This will give you a lot of hydration to your skin without leaving it greasy. It will not make your foundation slip and slide. It sits so well on the skin, and it just creates a very beautiful layer for you to go over with foundation. Now, going into foundations, this foundation, I have purchased this foundation, I think, for the past, I will say, a decade. And I'm talking about the La Mer, the Soft Fluid Longwear Foundation, Broad Spectrum SPF 20. This foundation is extremely natural, very lightweight, and I love the longevity of this foundation. My main job is I'm a caterer, I'm an event designer, event planner, and Saturdays that I go for the events or weddings, which most of my business is weddings, they are long days. It's like super long days. I start like 5 o'clock in the morning. I end up midnight, 1 o'clock. I apply this friend. It lasts me throughout the day. It looks beautiful on the skin. It doesn't feel heavy and it's extremely natural, and it works in different environments. Usually the weddings in my area, they are outdoors. They are not really like in a ballroom. No, it's more like, you know, outdoors, vineyards, barns, etc. And this foundation, regardless if it's hot, cold, windy, humid, doesn't matter, it just works amazingly. And the foundation that I'm using today is by Giorgio Armani, is the Luminous Seal Foundation. Isn't this an OG for many? It's just so lovely. It is natural with a subtle luminosity. It's not your dewy finish. It's just a very soft, luminous finish that it makes actually your skin look very youthful and healthy. It has more of a light to medium coverage. I do have a ton of freckles, and my freckles, they are still peeking through. And I love that because I don't like to cover my face. I always say I like to camouflage them. And then my next foundation, honestly, it will be the Tom Ford Shade and Illuminate Foundation. That is my foundation from Tom Ford. I absolutely love it. But they don't sell it at Sephora. So I will highly suggest, if you're traveling, I forgot to pull it out, the Tom Ford Shade and Illuminate Foundation on a stick. That is beautiful if you're, you know, if you're going commuting, traveling, or you just simply do not like liquid foundations. But the one that I have to recommend you is the Tom Ford Traceless Soft Matte Foundation. And you will be like, Jacqueline, but you have dry skin. You have seen me, again, all of these products, you have seen me using them for most likely more than a year. And this one right here, although it says that it's soft matte, it's not really a soft matte foundation. It is another natural foundation with a little bit more luminosity than the one from Giorgio Armani. It lasts beautiful on the skin, and I love to use it during spring and summertime. And yes, this foundation works magic. It just looks natural with a little bit more radiance. It does have more radiance again than the Giorgio Armani. It works beautifully, and they have so many different shades to choose from. Now let's go into color corrector, because I do have very dark under eye circles. They are bluish in tone. They are very obvious. And I also have some hollow space right here on my under eye area. So I have to play a lot with the light and all of that. And it's just hard. It's just hard to cover them. But a try and true color corrector that is very thin in consistency. It's not too oily. It's not too creamy, because that's another thing too. When you have to use color corrector and then go with a concealer, piling up a lot of products when you have a certain age. Sometimes it's not that favorable, but the one that never fails me is this one by Charlotte Tilbury, is the magic color corrector, something like that. Well, everything Charlotte Tilbury is magical. I already hit pan on this one. Love that it comes in various different shades for different skin tones, which is perfect. The one that I use is the shade medium. You just need to apply a very thin layer, and it does the job wonderful without drying your skin, over moisturize your skin, without leaving a big film, and it doesn't cause any problems with any of the concealers that I have tried. Now, going into concealers. The first one with full coverage but very thin in consistency, and one that you need a very tiny amount. Do not go with a lot of it. You don't need it. You do not need it. You just need literally like 1 or 2 dots at the most right here, 1 dot right here. That's all what you need is the Pat McGrath concealer. Such a wonderful concealer. If you need full coverage, but that is thin, that it doesn't cake up, that it doesn't crease on you. If you're a person like me, I honestly do not tend to set my makeup. I know that's in my real life. When I'm here on camera, like for today that I have a full face of makeup, yes, I set my makeup, but you know, on daily basis, unless I'm going out or it's gonna be a very long day, or I want to be, you know, I have a makeup that is just, you know, wow up there, then I use setting powders. Going back to this one, if you don't use a setting powder and you're worried, oh, you know, it may not work for me, it will work on you. I promise you, this is empty. It's completely gross and dry. I need to buy a new one. So yeah, I'm gonna end up picking up another one of these McGrath concealer for sure during the sale. And talking about the McGrath concealer, her concealer brush. This brush right here is slanted, is dense without being too stiff, and it ends on a very kind of like teardrop point that it really allows you to apply the concealer all the way to that inner portion where, you know, the, at least on me, the darkness like really shows more and it looks like if I'm sick. Right? So this concealer brush is something that I will highly suggest you to pick it up. Not only for the McGrath concealer, for any concealer, it really simulates kind of like your fingertip. It's just perfect. And if you have long nails, I don't have super long nails, but I have long nails, then yeah, this will help you. And if you're wondering why in the world you have two different nail polishes, is because I just did a review on the new Rêve de Chanel Le Blanc 2022 collection, and they came out with nail polishes I picked up too, and then well, there you go. That's why. And then the other concealer that I really love, if you have mature skin or you just simply have more falls under your eyelids, or you know, just, we're all humans, right? And that it will give you very nice coverage too. I will say more of like a medium coverage, not as full coverage as the McGrath, is that KOSAS concealer. Also pretty much empty. I just have a very little amount, and this is the one that I'm using today. And as you can see, it's very forgiving. It doesn't look too luminous, it's not too opaque, it looks very natural. And I think that's the key with both of these concealers too, is the finish, because if it's too matte, sometimes it can look very drying and not very youthful. But this right here, both of these concealers, they have that special natural finish to them. And then to set my concealer, I go to the McGrath Skin Fetish Sublime Perfection Under Eye Setting Powder. A little bit longer than that. I have them in both the whitish powder and then the medium one. The whitish one, it doesn't leave you a white cast, it's just transparent, but is the lightest setting powder that I have tried. Honestly, it is for under eyes. I have tried, I remember like 2 years ago or 3 years ago, I was going pretty much every day to Sephora to get what, well, it was more than 2 years ago, pre-pandemic, when we used to, you know, be able to get samples. Now you can get samples again, but anyhow, and try every single setting powder for the under eye area, and all of them, they crease on me, they age me, they make me look like a raisin, and this one is the complete opposite. And then going into a setting powder for the rest of your face, this is a loose powder and I absolutely love it. It's just so exquisite. It is the Givenchy Prince Libre setting powder. They come in so many different shades, and I really love that it's very inclusive for, like I said, all the way from light to medium to deep, rich skin tones. There's one powder that is even kind of like a color corrector, but this one doesn't leave a film. It's not super mattifying, it just leaves the skin natural. Again, it's just absolutely lovely. You don't feel it on your skin, you don't see it on your skin, you just see the magic happening on your skin. And then if you want a setting powder that is in a pressed formula, in a compact, then go with the Gucci setting powder. I have it here in the shade 06, and these will leave your skin looking like a porcelain doll. It's not like, but when I say it, it's not like in a fake way, but mostly in a very perfected, beautiful way. completely traceless. It comes in different shades too. I love that about this Gucci setting powder. And although it says matte right here, matte is a word that kind of like scares me, right? So when I decided to pick it up, I was like, hopefully this works for me. And this to me wins pretty much any other setting powder that I have tried before. I have a couple other ones that I love, but this one is just like amazing. And talking about that, I have also created, this was a video that I created last year, my top 3 favorites on each category. If you want to see that video too as a reference, it doesn't have only products that you can buy at Sephora, it's also products that you may not find it at Sephora, but if you are just curious, I have also that video up here on my channel. And then a powder very alike to the Gucci one, but it does have perhaps just a little bit more radiance, is the DIOR Backstage Face and Body Powder No Powder. I know, the longest names ever. And this is again another powder that if you see it, it does kind of have a pearlized effect. And when I say pearlized effect, don't think that it has shimmer, any glitter in it. No, it doesn't have anything of that, but you can see like a little tiny bit of luminosity to it, but it does have that kind of same effect as a Gucci one, that it gives you that porcelain doll kind of effect look on your skin. Now let's go into bronzers. Oh my gosh. Okay, where do I start? Right here. I think one that I mean, when you see the pan, yeah, this tells you how much I love this bronzer slash contour. Is a Tom Ford Shade and Illuminate Intensity 1. It comes in different intensities. 0.5 if you have light skin tone, if you have light to medium skin tone, intensity 1 is good. And then they have another one for more of like tan and deeper complexions. This one right here is fabulous. I use a lot more the actual bronzer to actually sculpt my makeup. But I also love this beautiful highlighter. This one right here is something that I will repurchase with my eyes closed. It's like, here, my card, just give it to me. That's how much I love it. Now going into powder bronzers, one that I have loved for years is that Tom Ford, sorry again, Tom Ford, it's not an ad from Tom Ford, it's just truly that I love it, is the Tom Ford, the Ultimate Bronzer in, I love Gold Dust. Gold Dust is kind of like the me shade for summertime because it has a golden kind of, yeah, a golden kind of look to the skin. But I also love Terra, and it seems like Gold Glass is gone. It's very hard to find, but Terra is beautiful for your everyday. It does have a very neutral undertone. It's a little bit of a terracotta in there, but not that much. Very, very little amount. And it's just standing very soft. It's extremely soft, non-powdery, and actually it looks like airbrush. Now, if you want something a little bit more luminous, and the one that I'm using today, and when I say luminous, it's not like super luminous in the sense that it's just, like giving you a vibe of highlighter. I truly love the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Bronzer in Radiant Bronze Light. This is the one that I'm using today. We have to give it to them. They don't fail in terms of the quality of their product. They don't. They don't. This is a beautiful bronzer that it just applies so beautifully. It does. I mean, I don't have any traces of the bronzer, where it starts, where it ends. The powder is so finely milled, and this marbleized kind of like formulation, it really allows for that contrast of giving enough radiance to the skin. It gives enough color depth to the skin, and that's something super important in a bronzer. I think it's very, very important. Another bronzer that I love is also by Gucci. This bronzer is also a matte formulation as in the past. In the past, the matte formulation really looked makeupy. This one right here is like silk. And I have the shades 3 and 4. The one that I use pretty much the most is number 4. As you can tell, it has kind of like a little bit of a golden tone, but it also has a little bit of red in it that it really makes you look very, like chiseled, but not with a effect of a contour, but rather, you know, like really nice bronze kind of effect, but you can really control the amount of pigment. It comes in different shades. The formula is beautiful. I mean, all of these bronzers, what I have to tell you, they are like airbrush. They are just perfect. Okay, and now going into blushes. Oh my gosh, bronzers and blushes, they are a very fun category right here. Let's start with with cream blushes. Let's go for Westman Atelier. Now, Westman Atelier is not a inexpensive brand, and in fact, most of the products that I'm featuring today, not in purpose, but you know, I'm a luxury makeup lover. But aside to that, I really think that if you're gonna shop Sephora, if you're gonna shop the sale, if you're a Rouge member, you know, might as well get your 20% off on products that are otherwise not easy to get at a discount price. Westman Atelier being one of them. It's a clean beauty brand and their blushes are stunning. One of my favorite ones is Chouchette. It's a very, let's see right here. It's a very kind of like natural kind of shade. Lovely. Let's see, let me just show it to you. You see that that's very soft, natural. It does have a little bit of kind of like a mauvey kind of pink. Not super cool, but it's just not too, it's just not too much. And then the other one that I love is Popette. Now Popette is very like, ooh, that is light, but actually it's not as bright as you can see it right here. And it's kind of that magenta undertone that it gives you a very like healthy kind of blush to your cheeks, kind of like that. You know, I had been out by the snow with that, you know, like winter kind of like flash to your cheeks, really pretty. And then the other one that you know, my friends, I'm a person that loves peachy tones, and peachy is not like any peachy tone. You know, some of them they can be too peachy. This one is not, is Minette. Look at that. Look at that. It just gives a very gorgeous, 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 gorgeous blush to your face. And you see how beautiful it blends. You just need a very little amount. Packaging, absolutely stunning too. And then another formulation that I adore from cream blushes is by Hourglass. My favorite is Sacred. There's something so special about this shade that I haven't found in any other blush. It's more of like a coral. It does have pink, it does have peach, and again, a little goes a long way. The most beautiful thing about this Hourglass one is the longevity of it. It's just insane. The amount of longevity that you get with this blush from Hourglass is incredible, and honestly, it actually suits for many skin tones. They have a ton of shades. Like I said, I have actually a full review swatching all of the shades, and yeah, it's truly amazing. I'm going now into powder blushes. Let's start first with Pat McGrath. She has a full selection of blushes. Some of them they are true matte, and then some of them they are kind of like a soft natural with a subtle radiance, but no shimmer, no glitter in them. The one that I'm wearing today is Desert Orchid. This one is just anytime, any day, any look, go with Desert Orchid. This is it. Although there's so many more that I love, but this is perhaps the one that I have used the most from her. It's just this beautiful, like a desert, you know, or even terracotta. It's soft, it's smooth. It does have a very soft radiance of gold, but it's not notorious. It just makes your cheeks really juicy, beautiful, just gorgeous. The next blush, if you want to have that baby cheeks kind of blush, the DIOR Backstage Rosy Glow blush. It's not like you see it right here. Right here you see it a little bit kind of neon-y, a little bit with a whitish cast, a little bit too strong, and it is not. It is not like, even on the finger, it doesn't make it justice. Honestly, it is when you apply it on the skin, and it has this formulation that it acts with your skin chemistry, that it just kind of like adjusts to your tone. It is beautiful. It is beautiful. If you want to have those baby cheeks, it is beautiful. And another blush that I'm in love with the formulation are the ones from Tom Ford, Shade and Illuminate. And these are right here in a specific Peach Poison. This is stunning. Summer is coming. You have to have this. This is not your typical peachy tone. This is not your typical, this blush right here is that one that it will give you that golden hour kind of look. Too good, too good, too good. And it doesn't sit on the skin. It just have this formulation that is soft. It's not a cream, but it just melts in the skin. And they have different shades. Peach Poison, one of my favorite ones. Cherry Blaze too. I mean, there are many, but yeah, Peach Poison is where you're at. Looking ahead for spring and summer, you want to get Peach Poison. And you know what? It will work throughout the entire year because it's just kind of that neutrally shade that if you mix it in, it will just be perfect year round. Okay, and I promise you this is the last blush because I know bronzers and blushes, they are my thing. Patrick Ta, yeah, his Double Take Cream and Powder Blushes. She's so LA. Yeah, if you know the California style girl that has these, you know, after being at the beach for, you know, like so many days, you get this bronzy kind of like blush. That's what you get with She's So LA. And honestly, any of the blushes from Patrick Ta, whether from the previous formulation, I love them all. They are a little bit more subdued. This one right here, you have that 2-in-1 where you get your powder and also your cream formulation. You can use them alone, you can use them together, you can use them like cream under, powder on top, or powder under and cream on top, because that's the beauty of this formulation, that you do not only have to use it in a certain way or the traditional way that we were thought of. The formulation is really helping you, you know, to achieve the look that you want, the way that you want to. And he has just so many different shades. Like he just launched She's Blushing, which is a new shade. And this is also a stunning shade if you want something just a little bit more pink, not too browny in tone as She's So LA. I mean, he just launched the other shades that were from his holiday palette too. So you have a lot to choose from with Patrick Ta. Okay, finally, that's it for blushes. And now let's go for highlighters. This is the highlighter. The highlighter in a powder formula is, again, Tom Ford, the Skin Illuminating Powder Duo in Moonlight. Incredible. You don't need no other serum. You just don't need another highlighter. I can use this any time of the year. It will just give you the most beautiful highlight on your skin without being too much. Honestly, without being too much. It's so traceless on the skin, so soft, so beautiful. You can combine these two shades, just use one. It is perfection. And on this same formulation, he has another one called Incandescent. I also have it. Stunning too if you have a deeper complexion, or if you get, you know, like very tan, get that one. You have where to choose from. And I know, I said powder, you know, you can just have the Tom Ford, but you know, a beauty lover is not just that. Christian Dior Forever highlighters are stunning too. They do have a little bit more impact, more than the Tom Ford, in the sense of like, you know, they just, not more obvious, but they just have a little bit more like an undertone to them, but also very soft. Absolutely in love with the shade Nude Glow. This is more of like a cool tone shade, but it's very neutral at the same time. So it will go really well with many different kind of makeup looks. And then one that I feel that is very unique is the one in Golden Glow, because it does have kind of this tangerine kind of undertone that if you have a tan, a bronze, this will really like up your look. Totally amazing, amazing. And now for the highlighter in cream formula. This is a very special formulation. It's by Westman Atelier. It's a super loaded tinted highlight in the shade Peau de Pêche, and it's the one that I'm using today. There's some sort of magic on this formula that when you touch it, it actually feels like even kind of like, this is not cream, it's kind of like kind of dry in a way, but it's not dry at all and whatsoever. And it just goes so well on top of powder. You don't need to be afraid to use it on top of powder. You don't need to set it, and it just gives this very natural radiance to the skin. It's just I cannot see it sitting on top of my skin. It's not sitting on top of my skin, and that's what I love. And it doesn't have really a strong undertone, although it's peau de pêche, like the skin of a peach, right? It's not that. She has it in different shades. There's one that I think I really want to get. I think it's something rose or rosy or whatever it is. Yeah, it's kind of pinky. But that one, I heard that it has some shimmer in it. This doesn't have anything, and I think it will work for many skin tones. I do have a light to medium skin tone, and I know many beauty content creators that they use the shade that they are lighter than me, deeper than me, and it looks just as stunning, and the formula is very different. And look, I haven't said it, and it's not sticking on my hair. It's just such a gorgeous formulation. And now let's go for maybe a boring part right here, but a very important part. Brows. I trust so much Charlotte Tilbury. This is the brow sheet. This is the one that you have seen me using pretty much every time. When you check on my description box and you check my makeup, this is the one that I'm using. And another one that I love is the Gucci. It's a powder brow pencil from Gucci. If you do not want to really define too much your brows, that you have plenty of hairs and you just want to, like fill in the gaps and make it very natural, that is not obvious, you will love the Gucci one. And longevity, that is something that is extremely important for me. Now that we're talking about brows, 3 products right here. One that is an OG that has never failed me, that leave my brows comb up, staying all day, and is super easy to use, is the 24-hour brow setter by Benefit. This is an OG for a reason. You will have no problems, no white like little sometimes certain gels, they tend to leave afterwards a little bit of like a whitish kind of residue. It doesn't. The brush is super thin. It's kind of like a centipede kind of brush that it really comes through your brows perfectly. This will just make your brows stay there. That's it. Don't move. Kind of thing. And then one that I have been enjoying quite a bit too is the one from Patrick Ta. Now this one right here, it's a little bit more tricky. I will say this one, it's for everybody. If you're new to using brow gel products, you can go for this one because it's super easy. It's clear too. All of the ones that I have right here are clear. The Patrick Ta, it's amazing too, in terms that it leave your brows set in a certain way. They do not move, but you have to work a little bit fast. But again, on this one, I also love the brush. Is very easy, and if you want kind of like a laminated kind of brow, then this will give it to you. And then the other one, that if you really want to discipline your brows and be like, you just stay there, you don't move, then you go with the Anastasia, the brow freeze. This is very easy to use too. You need very little amount, but you will need a spoolie. So I will say for beginners and any time, go with the Benefit. If you want a laminated finish, you go with Patrick Ta. If you want your brows to be there and you want to really work it through and you want a very like These will not move with the wind, tornado, whatever it is, hurricane. Then you go with the Anastasia Brow Freeze. So, I mean, all of these are tried and true, really, really amazing. For lashes, if you want lashes that looks kind of like if you have falsies, then go with the By Beauty mascara. And this is so, so good. I'm just so happy about this mascara. Not only the effect that it gives me of volume, length, separation, it keeps my lashes up all day. You know, how much volume it gave me. It's also easy to remove. It's not like a pain to remove it at all. And then for everyday kind of mascara, I will go for the Gucci. I mean, anytime, any day. This one right here, it gives me enough volume, enough length, enough separation that it makes your lashes look its best, and also very easy to remove, super easy to remove. And going now into eyeliners, no other than the Tom Ford double-ended eyeliner. This liquid eyeliner is amazing. You will not regret one bit to get this eyeliner. It seems expensive, but it will last you forever. You have two cartridges right here, and you have two different kind of brushes. This one right here will serve you a lot for detail, but this one right here, if you have hooded eyes like mine, if you have a lot of folds on your eyes and it's hard to get a wing, you know, that it doesn't skip, right? And it's hard to make, this will serve you so much because it's bendable, still very fine, and it dispenses the right amount of product. I wish though that they can make this one right here in a brown shade. But if you're looking for a brown shade, I have tried many ones, and I really love the one from Benefit, the roller liner in the shade brown. This one right here, also very easy to use, and I really love this brown shade. I think it's a perfect brown shade that is not too red, not too like dirty kind of khaki kind of look, but a true brown shade that truly complements pretty much any eye look. So these two, those are it. Okay, now moving on into perhaps the fun part for most of you are eyeshadows. And I think I want to start first with Natasha Denona. And the eyeshadow palette that I'm using today is the Glam Palette. This palette is, yes, for the most part, cool tone, but honestly, you have many neutral tones like this one right here, this one right here. You have these neutral shades, one warm shade right here, neutral right here. So there's a nice combination right here. So if you want an all kind of like type of palette that can make you, you know, step your toes into cool tones, but yet still offer you some neutrals and warm tones. Mostly if you have already a lot of nude eyeshadows in your collection, but you don't have these kind of tones, these will give you, I mean, whatever combination you do right here, you will get the most glorious look. But I start first with this shade right here, then this one on my crease, this right here right on the middle, pretty much all over the eyelid, this on my outer third of the eyelid. This one I went ahead and lined my lower lash line with it. Anytime you'll get an extraordinary look. And this shade right here, the one that says inner corner, is one of the most beautiful cool pinky shades that I have seen in an eyeshadow. It's a true really great investment, and it's not as expensive as, say, the Viva palette from Natasha Denona. This one is a bigger size. If the nudes in here are done right, they are done really right. You have here from cool tones, your terracotta, your warm tones, your mastery tones, really beautiful palette. But I like these other two palettes also from Natasha Denona more than the Viva palette. These right here, these are the Glam Palettes. They came out for the last holiday, and these are face palettes. You have more of like a deeper version, and then you also have the light version, which is, like the name implies, just a little bit lighter. So if you're looking for just your very, you know, like nudie tones, neutral tones, then just go for the light one. Really beautiful. And I love here the blush and also the highlighter. The highlighters on these palettes are really potent, but this is a really good all in all eyeshadow palette. Also from Natasha Denona, if you want something more pinky in tone, then go with the retro palette. This right here, it just burgundy. This is a very cozy, romantic kind of palette. All the eyeshadows right here, they work wonderful. You have warm undertones and also cool undertones right here. Different formulations. Beautiful palette from Natasha Denona, the retro palette. Now, if you really are not a person that likes a larger format palette and you rather have a small, more compressed kind of quad, I will say Tom Ford has some of the very best formulation. I'm gonna try to stick on on really recommending those that are my try and truth products, not really those that are new. Most likely I will be doing another video for the new ones, but I really want to focus on those that, yeah, I have tried more. If you want to have that J-Lo kind of golden goddess look, go with Suspicion. And this is the wet and dry formula. To me, the best formula from Tom Ford. Honestly, this is amazing. I mean, there's a couple other new formulations from Tom Ford that are just stunning, but this one still conquers my heart. Stunning. Yeah, super stunning. This is more of like your golden tone with a little bit of a taupey shade. Oof. So good. And then if you're looking something more into the cool tone, then go for Nude Deep. This is an OG, a classic, also on the wet and dry formula. This has a little bit of that pinky tone that we find in the Natasha Denona too, with some more cool tone taupey shades, kind of pewter shades here too. This shade right here looks wet. Stunning. Oof. Sorry, the swatch right there. I'm kind of wonky and crazy. And then if you want another palette, also cool tone, but in a small format, DIOR, this is in soft cashmere. This shade right here. Oh my goodness. Look at that. Again, I know, taupey shades. But here you have matte shades too, because the ones from Tom Ford, you don't get any matte shades. Oh, wow. Look at that. The reflectiveness. This is a one and done kind of eyeshadow. Just gorgeous. And then if you want more of that, Victoria's Secret angel kind of look, don't miss out. Charlotte Tilbury Exaggerates. I think out of all her eyeshadow quads, except for Fire Rose, which is discontinued. This perhaps is one of my favorite ones. It's up there. Star Order too is amazing, but this one will give you that very seductive, sexy kind of look. This has a lot of glistening into it. I mean, you can see right here, there's a theme with this shade, but this one right here from Charlotte Tilbury, it's a little bit more, yeah, Victoria's Secret kind of angel vibe with a little bit of pink in it. And then if you want a perfect, truly perfect nude all matte eyeshadow quad, I strongly suggest Mink Mirage. This came after Coco Mirage, and this is just a perfect palette. This is your base palette. You can have a ton of nude palettes, but this palette in particular is, to me, it's pretty much all what you need. If you're looking just for, a one matte look, or if you just want to give dimension to your look and then just have a one and done eyeshadow, honestly, this is your base product. This is honestly an amazing base product. Mink Mirage by Tom Ford. And then I know Pat McGrath usually has a lot of sales. So I will say, unless you're a Rouge member, yeah, perhaps if you're a VIB, you want to get a Pat McGrath Mothership palette. Otherwise, if you're an insider, it's up to you. It's up to you, but I just want to give you my recommendations. My friends, I love my mauvey tones. I think they really look beautiful if you have more of like brown eyes, or if you have hazel eyes too. Divine Rose, the original one, number one. You get your Astral Shades. You get a beautiful selection of shades right here. This is gorgeous. This shade right here. And then this right here is like, wow. This is more, if you want more intensity, but you have here enough shades that you can create different type of looks. Stunning, stunning palette. Stunning palette, very feminine, very sophisticated. And if you want to adventure just a little bit more, the newest Pat McGrath Mothership palette, Utopian palette, this palette is stunning. But if you want something for every day, you can just simply stay right here with this quad or this shade right here. This one right here, it's a duo chrome green, and it's just so pretty. It is very, very pretty. Look at that. It's just magical. It is magical. All of these shades right here, they are just stunning. And then this shade right here. This one is just your purple dream. Such a dreamy shade. Look, this right here. Oh, they just look wet. It just give me chills. So good. So good, so good, so good. And then the last palette that I want to recommend is by Huda Beauty Rose Quartz. This palette is also stunning. If you like mauvey tones, if you like muted pinks, if you like also neutral tones, but they have some warmth in it, and also those who have cool tones, this is a gorgeous palette. And this features a formulation that is just incredible. Incredible. Where I'm gonna swatch this right here. Beautiful. They look wet on the skin. Look at that. Look at that. Yes, these palettes, I mean, they are just jaw-dropping amazing. I think I'm gonna stop with the eyeshadows right here, because on the eyeshadow territory we can just go on and on and on. Going into lips. So for lip liner, I think Iconic Nude from Charlotte Tilbury. The Charlotte Tilbury formulation. It's a really, really good formula. Same thing with the one from Pat McGrath, but Iconic Nude is one that I use all the time. It's that perfect nude shade that just goes pretty much with absolutely every single lipstick that I have. Pretty much. I mean, obviously not with red, but it's just that formula and that specific nude tone that really contours your lip in a very lovely way that it doesn't look as too much. And then as far as lipstick goes, all day, every day, Tom Ford lipsticks. They have beautiful pigmentation. They are not super thick. They don't gather on the fine lines. He has a ton of different shades. If I had to pick two, Casablanca and also Flesh, but Flesh I think is discontinued or very hard to find. In that case, I will go with Sable Smoke, and that's the shade that I have today on my lips. Sable Smoke is that perfect nude tone that is not too pink and not too nude. It's just perfect. It's just totally perfect. It will go really well with cool tone looks like the one that I have today, warm tone looks. It just goes with everything. And then Casablanca is that perfect kind of like mauvey pinky tone. It's more deep than a pillow talk, but I just love how it looks with a beautiful, like this looks incredible with exaggerated eyeshadow quad from Charlotte Tilbury. Stunning. Talking about Charlotte Tilbury, and in specific these two shades. This is JK Magic. This is again another nudie tone that looks perfect with many shades. This one has a little bit more pink in it than say Sable Smoke. Just a little bit, just a tiny bit, but a very perfect nude shade. And then Angel Alessandra, if you want something that is a nudie peach shade, this is really beautiful too. This goes so well with the eyeshadow quad from Tom Ford in Suspicion. You see, this has more peach in it. It just looks very beautiful. Another great formula too on that lipstick category, Gucci. I think my favorite one, I have many of them, is Blaze of Noon. This one right here is just such a pretty shade. Also has a pinky undertone that is just very, it's kind of like my lips but better. This type of shade is gorgeous pigmentation, and they are not a matte formula. They are really comfortable satin formulations. And then if you're looking something very different, matte, kind of velvet. Honestly, they resemble the petal of a rose. That when you touch a petal of a rose, that texture, are these Givenchy lipsticks. Le Rouge Sheer Velvets. I have here Beige Nude. If you like nudie shades and you like mattes, but you don't want that drying matte kind of feeling, you're gonna love these right here. A perfect nude shade, and it will leave your lips kind of like looking cloudy, kind of like not powdery, but it actually has a velvet finish. And then a shade that I love, very romantic, not too much, is Nude Rosé, which is a more of like a kind of like your pillow talk kind of shade. There you go. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Going into lip glosses, there's a couple lip glosses right here that they really transform any lipstick to be even more amplified. They don't change the color of the lipstick, but they just make them look more juicy. Tone for any shade, but the one that I'm wearing right now is In the Buff. I mean, packaging stunning, but the shade, it just makes your lips look juicy, more like yummy and fuller, and it's not sticky, it's not gathery, it's just a beautiful formulation. And then the other one that I feel like it's a transformative shade, it does have more of like sparkles shimmering here, is by Charlotte Tilbury Champagne Diamonds. This one right here, also a beautiful shade. They are different. This one right here has more golden tone. This one is more, I don't know, like more nudie, but it doesn't go nude. It's actually pretty clear. Yeah, love them both. And then for lip oil, I have to give it to Merit. Merit, the shade that I love is the shade Taupe. This is gorgeous. You just don't need anything actually on your lips. Just use the lip oil. Your lips will feel really beautiful, hydrated, and the shade is just stunning. And the shade is actually very uniform too on the lips, so it doesn't look like, you know, like you have cracks here on your lips. It doesn't look weird. Okay, my friends, and the last product is a finishing powder. Guerlain Meteorites. This is the finishing powder that I have on the perimeters of my face. It gives me not a highlighter effect, but it just brings everything together. It makes the makeup look like perfected. It gives an aura effect of like healthiness and luminosity without being a highlighter. They have them in different shades for different skin tones, and I usually use it also a brush that not only for this specific meteorites, but for any finishing powder or setting powder, I highly suggest you to try the La Mer Da powder brush. Great brush, fantastic brush that is just incredible, soft and fluffy. It has density, but it doesn't move everywhere, and it just spreads and carries the product in the most beautiful way, and it's just extremely soft. Oh, and very important to set the makeup so it doesn't move all day long. Charlotte Tilbury, the Airbrush Flawless Setting Spray. This one doesn't have any alcohol, so if you have sensitive skin, this is a really good one. And believe me, your makeup will not move at all and whatsoever. So this is kind of like your guarantee. You know, this is the one that it will just lock everything in place. At the end, just set it with these and then go for your day and enjoy it. That's all. Did I finish right here? I'm afraid to feel like, oh, I'm done. I think I'm done right here. I'm done because these are truly the products that I have used them. Some of them for a little bit less than a year, but most of them a year, 2 years, 3 years, some of them for 5 years plus. And yes, these are the products that I will say 100% you will not find any trouble. So if you want really a beautiful look, a beautiful makeup look that will just look impeccable, these products are OGs for me, period. There you have it. If you want to see what products are worth it from the new category, the things that they just launched in 2022 that I just recently reviewed, I will be happy to do that too. let me just know. Let me know what it will help you. And now I would love to know from you. Name 1, 2 OG products that you say, Jacqueline, you need to try this product. Now it is the time. Or let me know if you have tried any of these products. What is your experience with them? Let's continue the conversation on the comment section down below. And while you're at it, and if you haven't done so yet, I want to invite you to subscribe to my channel. Make sure you ring the post notification bell so you don't miss any of my uploads. And come and follow me on my Instagram. If you like this video, do not forget to give it a thumbs up. Also, share with family and friends. And until the next time, I hope you have a beautiful, wonderful day.